What is going on, DC Hits? It's Deadbolt here, bringing you back a different kind of video. Like the title suggests, I'm reviewing One Piece today, the live action show from Netflix. And you know what? Let's kick things off by saying, I do think it was good. A lot better than I expected. And you know, I was kind of going into this movie thinking it was going to be absolute dog water, but I was pleasantly surprised, and it was actually a pretty good watch, not gonna lie. So in this video, I will be like reviewing the whole series. You know, it's not perfect. I do still have some critiques, you know, some problems that I do have in the show that we will address, you know, as we go on. But overall, you know, I wasn't as negative as I thought it was going to be. But without further ado, let's get into it. And before we continue, of course, spoilers for the One Piece anime, the live action series, the manga, just anything One Piece related. If you don't want to hear it, probably don't watch the video, because I spoil the absolute fuck out of this show, both live action and anime. So you have been warned. Start off with like characterization and stuff. I thought the actors that played the Straw Hats, you know, played them pretty well. You know, like they definitely looked the part. You know, I like all the outfits they had. There were times with Luffy and Zoro, to be exact, where they kind of felt a bit like try hard cosplay, like in moments. I don't know if it's just me. Actually, you know, I'm kind of glad I postponed this. I was gonna do this review last week, but I got Tony's opinion on it, who has also watched One Piece, and he said that he had to watch it subbed. Japanese subbed, which I thought was wild. But then he told me that well, for some of them, I forgot which ones exactly, but I know Luffy for sure, and I want to say Nami, their sub voice actors are from the anime. So I thought that was actually really cool. And if I would have known that, I still would have watched it in English, because I don't know, watching a show, you know, like the lips aren't going to match up. You know, it's kind of weird when you watch a live action show in a language that it's not meant to be in.
Hey, 俺はモンキー D. ルフィ、海賊王になる男だ。
Yeah, I think they definitely looked the part. There were some points where like Zoro felt like he was trying too hard to be cool, when in the anime he seems more like bumbling and more like passively cool. But you know, I still think Zoro, Sanji, and Arlong are definitely my top 3 like standout characters from this show. I thought their characters were cool, fleshed out. I thought they looked great. Their fight scenes, Zoro's fight scenes are the best. Like the sword play they have, the fight choreography they have is freaking on another level, in my opinion. Like all of his fight scenes were cool, even with those two freaking cringe. What were they? The something brothers. I remember them from the anime.
Yes, Captain? Did you call for us?
Well, did you?
Siam!
And Bucci!
Together we are the Meowban brothers!
There were 2 brothers, except in this one it was a dude, a fat dude, and then the other one was a girl who was so freaking cringe. I don't know why they kept telling her to hiss. That just made her seem like, I cringed every time she did that so hard. I was like, what the fuck is going on here, dude? But yeah, you know, overall, I think they did good. Sanji's backstory was once again my favorite. He was a personal favorite of mine. I think he is my favorite backstory. You know, it's either Brook or Sanji when it comes to the Straw Hats. You know, the main cast. And speaking of Sanji, when they get to the live action version of Sanji and Pudding's wedding, when Luffy destroys the cake, they don't got to worry about getting another one because he's got it right here. Okay. Anyways, the only gripe I have with that is I don't know if they could have used some CGI or maybe a different actor. I don't know. You'd probably have to use CGI, or you can't use prosthetics because, that's just on top. It would kind of make them look more chubbier. But, to make them look skinnier, similar to like what they did in Endgame when Tony Stark came back. I know they probably don't have the budget for that. Endgame's freaking multi-$100 million movie, and this is a Netflix show, but, it was just kind of off-putting. Like they were there for 80 days without food, and then like in the anime they're like skin and bone, and it's shocking. It makes that so much more impactful. And in the show they're just normal, even the kids, a little pudgy, and so is Zeph. And speaking of Zeph, I want to say Zeph is like the J. Jonah Jameson of anime when it comes to like casting, like with J.K. Simmons. Like J.K. Simmons in Spider-Man looks like J. Jonah Jameson just jumped right out of the comic book. Like it's pretty crazy how accurate he looks. And Zeph looks like they couldn't make his hat cartoonishly large like they did in the anime and the manga, but like he looks dead on, and it's crazy. Also, I like his accent. He gave off like Gordon Ramsay vibes, which I thought was perfect with this. And just to touch on the other characters, Nami, I thought her character was fine. She stood out in the Arlong Park section of the show, of course. And yeah, I thought she was good. She played her part well. Usopp, he gets more in the live action show than the anime, that's for sure, when it comes to Kaya, if you know what I'm talking about. Now we know why they didn't give him his long nose. But yeah, I thought his character was fine. He doesn't have the long nose, as I'm sure you know already, and I don't have a problem with it. I originally did. I was like, come on, bro, they can't even afford just a prosthetic nose. But like, I don't know, because again, this is a live action adaptation, and like this is my thing with converting it into live action. It kind of takes some of the charm away. It takes some of the that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to converting something from like a cartoon or an anime into live action. It takes away some of the charm. Like, this hasn't just happened to One Piece, but like just about every Disney live action. It's so awful. Like The Lion King, like to watch the original Lion King, which some would say is like one of the best movies ever. It's so artistic and creative. All the animals have like such emotive and expressive faces, and like when they break out in this song, it's also like you could see the level of creativity that went into it. And in the live action movies, they're just normal animals. Like how expressive can a lion's face be in real life? The only emotions they're capable of expressing is being pissed off and just complete utter neutrality. Like, that's it. That's the zenith of their emotional expression capability. And because it's a cartoon, and this is just for like the Lion King, but like the Jungle Book and other types of Disney live action remakes, you can make animals and like things that aren't supposed to be emotive or like move a certain way, give them more of a creative edge than in real life, because animals don't they don't express themselves like that. It takes away a lot of what made the anime great, I feel, because Usopp doesn't have his nose. There's not going to be any running gags of people grabbing him by his nose. Not going to be anybody making fun of him. If Robin gets introduced, if this gets another season or two, she's not going to call him Long Nose Coon, because that wouldn't make sense. But I guess it's just the nature of the beast. Like I said, we're not going to get any over exaggerated facial expressions, like people opening their mouths like larger than their torso when they're surprised, no angry sharp teeth and like wide-eyed expressions when they get angry, you know, no eyes poking out of their head in shock. You know, this world is so fantastical, even the Going Merry has facial reactions. You know, you lose a bit of that, and it is what it is. But I feel like that's something that's also always going to hold live action behind when it comes to, you know, like a manga or a anime adaptation, because you lose a lot of creative choices that way. But what I'm getting at is, like, I feel like there's more to enjoy when you go manga or anime than the live action versions. And like, that's kind of like the pitfall. It like falls into the same trap as like the Last of Us show, for me at least. The show, from what I've heard, I haven't watched it yet, but I hear good things about it, you know, like I hear it's faithful to the game and all that, and it's really good. It's a really good watch, but I've already played the game and I know how amazing it is, and there's no way that a show is going to top that level of experience, you know, that the same level of immersion. And I feel the same way about God of War. Like, I know they're going to have a show coming up. It's supposed to be based on the PS4 universe, you know, that section of the game. And I don't know if I'm going to watch it because I've already experienced that in a way better medium, you know. It's longer, yes. It's more, you know, active, I guess, because you have to play it. But it's a far better experience. And I don't see how making, you know, like a property like a video game or an anime into live action benefits it in any way. Like, I feel like if you're going to make an adaptation, there should be an attempt to make it better. And I feel like turning it into live action, it doesn't make it better. It just makes it different. And, you know, being different can be better, but I think in this case, live action inherently makes it worse. And even if it is good, you know, like the live action The Last of Us, One Piece was good. You know, God of War, it might be good. I don't know. It's not out yet, but they don't hold a candle to the video game or the anime or manga, you know? So it's like, what's the point, you know, coming from me though? You know, for a normie that might be better because, you know, it's shorter, it's live action. You know, a lot of people, you know, are still kind of they think anime is weird, they think manga is weird, maybe they don't play video games, you know, they don't have the time or whatever, and you know, it's just in a medium that they like, and that's fine. I guess I could see that, but coming from, you know, my perspective, I just feel like they should just be left alone, and you know, not everything needs to be live action. But if you read the manga and watched the anime, you know, should you watch the One Piece live action? I would say, yeah, why not? I mean, either you're like a really diehard, like kind of like how I was last week, you know, where I was kind of shitting on it. You have something to laugh at because like you think like it's a so bad it's good type show. Or you're genuinely surprised by, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And, you know, you have that. Now you have something to watch to kill some time. But yeah, my overall thoughts on it is it was good. I liked it, and I would probably watch it again someday, honestly. It wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was. But next part of the video, I want to talk about overall costume design and like world, you know, like how everything looked in the world. I thought the world looked pretty good. You know, it felt like One Piece, you know, brought to life in a lot of areas. Axe Hand Morgan's axe looked perfect in my opinion. It looked hokey, but it was the good kind of hokey in my opinion. I don't know. I thought I liked his character. Like, he wasn't as hammy, you know, like he wasn't as like blatantly I'm great, and that's what everybody else should believe, like in the anime. But I still thought he was a good character. And everybody's costumes were pretty good. You know, Arlong looked good. Like his look, other than one thing, that would be like his height, like his size, which, you know, that kind of brings me to my only criticism when it comes to the costume design and the overall like world, I guess. Everybody kind of just looks the same height. Like, yeah, there are people who are taller than others. You know, I've gotten into discussions about this, like in my One Piece trailer reaction. You know, like where I overestimate, you know, the height differences and stuff. But in this case, yeah, Arlong is kind of just as tall as a regular guy. When in the anime and manga, he's like, I looked it up. He's 8.5 feet tall. And in the anime, his actor, he is 6'1", and you know, I don't think he looks 6'1" in the show. I think they might have made him taller, made him wear some shoes or something that make him taller, maybe closer to around 6'6". But like, he isn't nearly as intimidating as the real, like the anime Arlong. Unfortunately, I will say this though, that he has above that Arlong, like anime Arlong, well, East Blue Arlong, I should say. When you get into like his backstory and stuff later on in the anime, it kind of changes your perspective of him. He's still a shitbag, don't get me wrong, but like you understand where he's coming from, and that really changes, you know, like how you feel about the character. But they really lean heavily into the whole like slavery and inequality that the fishmen have, and Arlong, you know, voices that multiple times, and that's why he's, you know, one of my favorite characters in this live action show.
You're not smarter than people give you credit for.
Because I'm a fishman.
That's not what
Does it surprise you that I have intelligence, ambition, usage beyond manual labor for humans?
Not at all. I've personally never felt any ill will towards your
And
kind.
yet, the leaders of the organization you so proudly represent saw fit to disparage and enslave my people.
Slavery has been abolished.
But your prejudice remains.
Yeah, he sounded very compelling, and you know, you can see where he's coming from, like his hatred of humans. You know, is it justified?
No!
But like you can see it, you can like feel how hurts, and you know, like how he doesn't want fishmen to be under like, you know, human rules. And like I feel like his relationship with Nami was like pretty good. It was pretty accurate to how it was depicted in the anime. But yeah, like my only problem with Arlong in the live action is that he's too short, man. He's too short. What the hell? And that's the whole like budget thing. Same with Garp. Garp is pretty tall in the anime and the manga too. Like he's a taller than average guy. I looked it up. His canon height is apparently 287 centimeters or 9.5 feet tall. And Gold Roger is also around 9 feet tall. So, you know, there's that. And in the live action, he's kind of just, you know, a tall guy. I mean, I'm 6'3" in real life. You know, if you saw me walking down the street, you know, you wouldn't be freaking in shock and awe, you know, 6'3". That's not that tall compared to like, you know, One Piece. Garp's over here 9 feet tall. And if you saw a 9 foot tall person walking down the street, everybody would be looking at him, because what the fuck? That's like inhuman almost, you know. What, the tallest person ever in like recorded history was like 8 feet tall, you know. And like what, Yao Ming might be the tallest person today, and he's what, 7.5 feet tall or some shit. Like like that's something that would make your jaw drop. And that was kind of the similar reaction that Usopp had when he first saw Arlong too. He was like, oh my god, that guy is enormous. I said enormous. I was gonna say ginormous and enormous. Okay, I'm probably gonna leave that in.
They make it difficult for me and my men to keep the peace.
That's him? Arlong's gigantic! He's not even human!
Nope, he's a fish man.
For real?
I'm responsible for 20 towns and villages, including this one.
You know, you kind of lose that, because if Usopp saw this Arlong, he would have just been like, oh, Fishman. You know, like he wouldn't have any comment. You can't have him say, oh my god, he's huge, and then like he's just the same size as every other fishman and regular guy. Like I'm pretty sure he's the same height as Genzo or something. You know, like One Piece has these varying heights for just regular people, and I think it adds to the world, you know. And it seems as though that's not something they're going to replicate in live action. Also, they do seem a bit weaker in the show. Like you see Arlong flip a hut, you know, like when they're first attacking the village. And he seems to struggle a lot. You know, he's there for a good minute. Like he's there for a good minute just screaming, trying to get it up, and then he finally flips it. And it's a good flip, don't get me wrong. I thought the CGI on that was great. That was a really good house flip. But in the anime, when he does that, he kind of just grabs it and then he makes a casual observation. I forgot what he was doing, but like he grabs a house, a full house, looks back, and I forgot what he was looking at, but he makes like, it's so casual, like he's not straining at all. And then he flips the house, you know, like I don't really think I have as much of a problem with that as I do with the height. Cause you know, I feel like the rest of the arc was handled pretty well, you know, like I feel like the fight that he had with Luffy was pretty well done. But yeah, it just worries me that we're just going to get a bunch of characters that are, you know, just all normal Earth type height, you know, like, I know you're probably like, well, why does that really matter? And it's kind of like, it's part of the One Piece world. Like, again, it's that charm that's lost, you know? Sometimes you just run into people in the One Piece world that are 10 feet tall, and that's just normal, you know? Crocodile's like 9 feet tall, isn't he? And Doflamingo's like over 10. But like, it looks like in live action, they might just be regular sized humans, you know? And that kind of sucks because, you know, it's part of their character. I mean, I know Doflamingo is partly scary because of his power, but would you be as scared of him if he was just some blonde haired, like douchebag looking dude that's only like 6 feet? Or would he be even more intimidating if he was like 10 and he towered over you, you know? Like, that's the thing. And it kind of makes me wonder what the giants of Elbaf are going to look like. You know, they're going to have to go all out. Next season, if they get a next season.
なんと、Netflix が続編の制作を決定しました。イニャキたち実写版麦わらの一味の冒険はまだまだ続きます。
You know, they did all of East Blue. Are they gonna? I think they're gonna start off in Logtown. You know, they're gonna do that whole Alvida and Buggy team up at Logtown, and Smoker's gonna be there. After that, they head off to fucking. Is that when they go to Whiskey Peak? I forgot. Either way, I know before they get to Chopper, which I don't know if they won't. Which, you know, if they do get to Chopper.
さて、ここから先は麦わらの一味に優秀な繊維が必要になってくる気がします。ご期待ください。
Are they gonna fully CGI him? Like, I don't see any other way you can do Chopper in live action. And if they do, is he gonna have a prominent role? You know, like it's this whole budget thing where they doesn't seem like they can afford to sustain a fully CGI character for long. And it makes me worry, like, how are they gonna handle all these things that incorporate that are probably gonna require a lot of CGI? But I guess we'll see. I'm still very much curious to see where the show goes. One thing I do feel was handled poorly, and I will like critique it based on this because, you know, this was something that happened in the anime and they did adapt it to the live action. Shanks's guns aren't for threat speech. I feel like it didn't pack the same punch as it did in the anime. And that's not really due to like it being live action this time. I just feel like that they made a directorial choice which didn't really fit the scene. And I feel like it's because they packed so much into so little, you know? Like, you have, I forgot. I'm just going to call him Mountain Bandit. I forgot his name. I know he has a name. Everybody in One Piece has a name, but I don't know his name. Mountain Bandit guy, you know, the one that kidnaps Luffy. He doesn't really, like, he kind of, like, in the anime and in the manga, he goes to the bar. Luffy's there. He's talking shit about Shanks and how much of a pussy he is. You know how it is. And Luffy, you know, Luffy lights him up. He defends Shanks. He you know, calls him a pussy back. You know, he doesn't really do that, but in my interpretation, he does. And The mountain bandits kidnap him, they beat him up, and they hold him hostage. And in the anime, he just shows up, starts talking shit. You know, he wants more liquor. Luffy stands up for him, and they get into like a bit of a scuffle right there in the bar. And then Shanks shows up at the bar as well. And like it feels so like a lot is happening. And then Shanks does his, you know, guns aren't for threats, they're for actions speech. Except he doesn't do it at all. One of the coolest moments in the anime was cut from the live action. The whole guns are for action, not for threats. You know, one of the most badass moments in the whole series. You know, it's iconic. You know, it's one of the first ones you think of when you think of early One Piece, and Shanks in general was cut. You know, they still get across this whole, you know, if you hurt my friends, you know, I will, you know, I won't forgive you. You know, he gets serious, but to cut out such an iconic line, I mean, come on, you know. And it's not like they couldn't do it, they just actively chose not to, and that's what really bothers me. He points a finger gun at the guy holding the gun, shoots it, and then Lucky Roo off camera shoots him. And yeah, that doesn't hit as much as like the close quarters. The guy is holding the gun directly to his head. Shanks points at it, says guns aren't for threats, they're for actions. And Lucky Roo Roo's just standing there eating his ham, you know, like, and it's crazy in the anime. You see him go from this, you see Shanks go from this like fun-loving, carefree dude to, yeah, I'll murder you if you try to hurt my friends, like serious shit. And you see the rest of his crew turn like that too, and it's freaking amazing. But in live action, they kind of just have a bar fight, and it doesn't hit the same at all. That's the problem I really have with that, because that is one of my favorite scenes of One Piece. It's iconic, and I feel like they kind of butchered it. Everything after that was pretty cool though. It was a good bar fight, I'll give it that. I mean, like, was it a good adaptation of the scene? No. Was it a good bar fight? Yeah, it was. Like, the fight choreography was pretty good. Yes, I've got in a cool ass trick shot. Ben Beckman was out here, you know, throwing his gun around, shooting people. It was really good. You know, Lucky Roo is stomping somebody out, and I'm pretty sure he's wearing Converse. I don't know. That's not the first. I've also seen like pictures that like Sanji was wearing Pumas apparently. And oh wait, you know what? I think it was Zoro. I think like in one of the scenes, I don't know if it's still in the show or not, I guess one of his swords bent. like you know, because they use plastic equipment, you know, like for the swords, you know, for the action scenes and stuff. I guess when he did a roll, it like bent. You know, just the Wado Ichimonji, you know, like a freaking legendary sword just bends like that apparently. Like the whole scabbard and everything. But yeah, like on its own, the scene is still really good. It's still a cool fight scene. You know, I don't want to be overly negative. Like I said, it is an adaptation. They didn't adapt this part super well, but I will say what we got is a good scene. It's just not a good adaptation of the scene we got in the anime. But yeah, everything after that was handled pretty well. You know, the whole Mountain Bandit kidnaps Luffy, Shanks saves him, loses the arm. And another thing I do like about this live action adaptation, because Eiichiro Oda is working on it, he kind of confirmed that Shanks did indeed use Conqueror's Haki, you know, because like before it was something that, you know, a lot of us kind of guessed. We kind of figured that he did after Conqueror's Haki was revealed, because, you know, what else would make the Sea King go away? But like, you know, you could also say maybe Shanks just stared at it and it got intimidated. You know, that's what it looked like in the anime and in the manga.
Get lost.
now, you know, in the live action, they give it like a weird, like, it's not the sound of Conqueror's Haki, but like they show that he uses an ability when he stares at it. And yeah, so he definitely used Conqueror's Haki on the Sea King. Let's see what else I need to talk about. Zoro and Nami. I thought the way they met, you know, Luffy, like how they kind of condensed it in the live action, I thought that worked pretty well. You know, I like how you kind of get moments alone with Luffy and Zoro and moments alone with Luffy and Nami, and then they meet and they're both reluctant, but they both eventually, you know, end up joining the crew. We did lose a scene of Kobe and Luffy fighting, you know, like when they're saying goodbyes and Kobe wants to go join the Marines. But the way they work it into the show is actually pretty cool. The show has a lot of Kobe moments, you know, like in the anime they kind of just show mostly Straw Hat stuff, and then like at the end of the arc kind of they show what Kobe's up to. But in this they kind of integrate it into the whole show, like, you know, some like it'll cut back to Kobe at least like a few times in the episodes, and he's immediately under Garp's wing, like almost like he joins up and Garp's just like, I like your spunk, kid, you're coming with me. And I actually quite enjoyed the moments we get to see of Garp and Kobe, and you know, like I like seeing his journey. Oh yeah, Helmeppo, butt cheeks. That is all. They made Buggy a lot more evil in the live action. Like this dude's over here like threatening children and holding a whole town hostage, and it's pretty wild, bro. Like this man, like, you know, he doesn't get redeemed, I would say, in the anime, but like he has redemptive qualities, you know, like he's more comic relief, and he is in the show as well, but he's also like in the show I'm like, I feel like he should die. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, I feel like he should die for the things he does. While in the anime, I'm more like, it's just silly old Buggy. You know, he's Buggy being Buggy. We got a cameo from Shushu, which was nice. You know, he was kind of just a dog, you know, that showed up at the end. But, you know, I don't even think he was the right kind of breed. But, I mean, I'm guessing that was Shushu. And the mirror, of course, he was also in the audience, and he showed up at the end. He gave the Straw Hats, you know, some parting gifts. We also got a cameo of the Lion Tamer. You know, he showed up early on. That was pretty cool. All right, Usopp's introduction. So they cut out the Usopp Pirates, which I don't really mind too much in live action, but you know, in the anime, when they disbanded the Usopp Pirates, that did get me in my feels a bit. I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like the more close quarters like relationship he has with Kaya, and you know, I do like the relationship more in live action, I would say, because Usopp actually, you know, he deserves to have a little girlfriend. Why not? But I feel like that whole little arc in the live action was done pretty well. The only thing I will not, and I mean will not, forgive in live action, they didn't give my boy Captain Kuro his signature patented just got punched in the face by Luffy stance he does in the anime, because that shit was freaking lit, bro. That is the single most badass stance I've ever seen in anime ever. Imagine you're having like road rage, you guys pull over, you're ready to fight, and that dude comes out of the car and hits this stance. He's just standing there like this, ready to go.
He's just standing there.
Menacingly!
He doesn't even have to have the knife gloves or anything. I'd get in my car and drive away. I'm telling you that right now. Can you imagine Captain Kuro live action hitting that shit? Boy, that I would have screamed out loud if they did that, bro. If Luffy punched, wait, was it a punch or was it a head? No, it was a punch. He sucker punched him. It punched Captain Kuro. Dude stands up with his neck. Oh my god, that would be amazing. We need a, what is it, Snyder cut? Who directed that episode? We need a them cut. They need to open like a GoFundMe page just to fund the CGI prosthetics etc. The time for that actor to go back in just to shoot that one scene of him standing up and hitting the old Captain Kuro pose that we all know and love. Oh my God, that would be amazing. I would watch the whole show like 10 times if they did that shit. Oh my God. I actually forgot he did that. I watched it. I watched all of One Piece once, and it wasn't until this rewatch I did before I did this review that I remember that. I was like, holy shit, he did do that wacky ass freaking bent neck, just impossible. Like, what the fuck kind of pose is that? I love that part so much, though. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, okay. This kind of does segue into something else that I do have a problem with. Usopp and his battle with the fisherman. What was the name? Jojo? Big-lipped man. In the anime, that fight was really used to develop Usopp's character and to show like what he is in his core. And I feel like that was very much lost in the live action. He's fighting Big-lipped man, and I'm gonna keep calling him that. He's fighting him, and then he does the whole death fake out thing that he does in the anime, and then he just gets up and shoots him. And that's another thing we're losing in live action. We don't hear internal monologues and stuff, so we don't know what's going on through his head. But in the anime, he's talking, and he's like, while he's doing his death fake out, he's like, oh man, I lived. Like, he's happy at first, but then he's like, my friends are out here, like putting their lives on the line, trying to save Nami. She put her life on the line for his village, and here he is being a coward and, just trying to fake his death just to survive, and he like psychs himself up. He gets over his cowardice and he fights the fish man again.
Stop right there, you son of a bitch!
Oh? You're still alive. Chew.
That's right, big lips. It takes more than water to kill someone like me.
He does the whole Tabasco star. Wait, no, it wasn't the Tabasco star, was it? It was the fire star. That's right. With the alcohol, sets him on fire, and then he beats his fucking brains in. And I'm gonna go with that as canon because I don't think they cut back to him after he gets done bludgeoning him with a hammer. But in my interpretation, Usopp is just like he gets over his cowardice, and then he just gets bloodthirsty and just starts bashing people's skulls and just starts going savage mode. But yeah, he does that, and it's pretty powerful because like that cements like who Usopp is. He's a coward. He would very much like to avoid confrontation and fights, and putting his life on the line, but he will definitely get over it for his friends. And I feel like that's a pretty good character trait. I feel like a character having a flaw like that and being able to get over his flaws is amazing. But in the show, but in the live action show, he kind of just does the death fake out, gets up and shoots him, and he's dead. And it feels less like he's a coward and more like he was just like a tactician. And it's like, well, Angel, are you getting mad because they made Usopp more competent? And I'm like, no, I'm getting mad because they kind of just ignored his character trait in a very powerful moment, like Usopp was already competent in the anime. He just has to get over his cowardice in order to like fulfill that competence, like his whole shtick is that he lies, and he's a good liar. That's the thing about the Straw Hats. They, like in Alabasta, Usopp told Chopper, just do whatever you can, and that's kind of what they all do. They're all competent at something, just Usopp's isn't really, fighting, but if he has to, he will. He'll get down. You know what I mean? Like a character having a flaw isn't a bad thing at all. Like, we have flaws. It's relatable. It makes them more relatable. And if you just take them away, they show him, like apprehensive to fighting. He's very much a flea type person, but that moment I feel really cemented Usopp's character in a good way. And that's something we lost. Oh yeah, we lost Hachi. I don't think it's as bad as most people are making it out to be. Like, yeah, Hachi, they cut him out because of the budget. Obviously, he would have been a very expensive CGI character to make, with all his tentacles and shit. But they could just use another Fishman if they really have to. I don't think introducing him later on when they get to Sabaody, or if they do, I should say, I don't know if introducing him would hit as well as, like, just introducing maybe he would be burnt. Fuck. I don't know. Just one of the fishmen that were there that, maybe the shark guy or Big Lip Man. I don't know. One of them, they could just substitute Hachi with one of them. And, I guess it would hit the same, because Hachi's whole character is that he took part in the gang that, kind of tortured Nami and held her as a indentured servant, and the whole incident with the celestial dragons and Sabaody and everything. It was Nami that screamed out for him, and it kind of cements Nami as somebody who was able to forgive somebody. She can learn to forgive them for their mistakes and stuff. But yeah, I don't see it as that big of a deal. Should I get into race and gender swapping, or the possibility of, like, Nojiko? I don't really have a problem with that. Honestly, I more have a problem with her hair. Like, why is her hair so goddamn blue? Like in the anime, it's clearly not. It's like lavender color. And if you cast an actress to be a character, and then you have to like apply the characteristics of that character to her, and of course they're not gonna powder her up and do white face the whole time, so she's gonna have her dark skin, and it's not something I have a problem with. But a wig, like, really? You couldn't get a blonde wig and dye it lavender? You couldn't get a lavender wig? Like, you're just like, if we can't find any, just get her a blue one. And like, wigs, like, comparatively to the budget, I know wigs can be expensive. They could be like, hundreds of dollars. They could be like hundreds of dollars, but like, really? You couldn't afford a lavender wig? But whatever. I guess I'll share a little bit of like my thoughts on this. Do I wish they could have cast an actress that looked exactly like Nojiko, kind of like they did with, other characters like the Straw Hats and, Zeph and, Helmeppo and Kobe? Of course. But, then again, I'd also rather have a show, like, if they're going to do a live action show, make it literally just 1-to-1 with like the anime. And it's not just an adaptation, it's a Netflix adaptation. So that's kind of expected when it comes to Netflix, the whole inclusion thing, Yeah, I don't really care too much for inclusion. Like, it doesn't really do anything for me. I can go with or without it. And that's coming from somebody who's half black and half Mexican. Freaking Miles Morales is like almost my exact race, which is rare because, mixed. You don't really see that too much in media. And who my favorite Spider-Man is? Peter Parker, because he's fucking amazing.
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Miles is okay. I mean, freaking Into the Spider-Verse, freaking amazing movies, bro. And the one that just came out, awesome shit. But like Peter Parker, like, man, you can't top that. Like, a character shares your same race doesn't mean you can't still identify with them. I know Eiichiro Oda has stated what he thought all the like Straw Hats originated from, like their nationalities, and that's fine. I feel like those characters should be cast based on their race then. But like when it comes to other characters that like aren't really said, if they want to have their own interpretation, or if like Eiichiro Oda is like, sure, why not make her dark skin, if it's by his blessing, fine. I don't have a problem with that. The only thing I do have a problem with is people going, I remember I saw it in my comments, people are like, Eiichiro Oda said, freaking Luffy, if he was real, he would be Brazilian. So they casted a Mexican. They were just like close enough, I guess. And as a Mexican, I'm like, no, we're not. What the fuck are you talking about? Mexicans and Brazilians aren't the same. The countries aren't even on the same continent. That would be like, okay, Eiichiro Oda said that Zoro would be Japanese, and they casted somebody Chinese to play Zoro, and they were like, well, close enough. Like, you know, like, come on now, that's not right. But, you know, that kind of comes to my point. Like, in Akigodoi, he's Mexican. That's, you know, playing what's supposed to be a Brazilian character, I guess, you know, of Brazilian descent or inspiration, whatever. And he still does a good job. So, you know, like, that's why let's not focus on race and let's just focus on performance, presentation, etc. Gender swapping. Is Crocomom confirmed? No, it isn't. I see people going around, like, I hate clickbait fucking YouTubers going around. It's confirmed. They confirmed it 100%. Could that be Crocodile? Maybe. But, like, nothing at all is confirmed about it. That's the thing. I hate when people take their theories and they're like, is this Crocodile? And just pass it as complete fact, you know? But if it is, I don't know. I'll wait and see. Maybe they just gender swapped him, you know? Maybe Crocodile's just a woman. Maybe, you know, because this is Gold Roger's execution, maybe he was a lady, Ivankov, you know, the whole secret thing. Maybe he is a woman and became a man, you know? But by no means do I think Crocodile is going to be revealed to be Luffy's fucking mom. Like there's no way in hell that's going to happen ever in the manga, anime, live action adaptation. No, I don't think so. Could Crocodile be, you know, transgender in the One Piece world? Maybe. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I don't care. He be gender swapped in the live action? Maybe. I don't care. I don't really have a problem with that either, but like, I just hate it when people try to confirm their theories with like just freaking pube hair thin evidence like this. Like, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, that kind of sums up my thoughts. I thought it was a good show, you know. Am I excited for another season? Am I excited for this show to like get to like Wano and, you know, like Egghead Island and everything? I don't know. I have to wait and see like how they're gonna handle CGI characters before I can say yes, because like if let's say they continue, like how are they gonna make they did mention Jinbei. How is he gonna look? You know, is he just gonna be a regular guy like Bartholomew Kumo, Ivankov, Brook, Laboon? You know, pretty much every Zoan Devil Fruit user. Like, are they just gonna, like, how are they gonna make it look, you know? Like, I hope they can make it look good. I hope they can, because this show does well, maybe they give it a bigger budget and they can, like, have more assets for CGI, you know? Because, man, Marineford isn't gonna hit as hard if Whitebeard is just some average height guy, you know? Like, he needs to be a friggin' monster of a man. Come on. He's my favorite character. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It took a very long time to make. It took, what, about 2 weeks now of just mostly editing, you know, and revising and stuff. So if you liked it, I would appreciate a like or a comment or something, you know. Feedback of any kind would be great. I do definitely want to do more videos like this in the future, more reviews, like retrospectives, even like icebergs and stuff. I don't know. I just really I like the process of making this video. You know, it's never fun making, like when you're making a video and it feels like you're making a video, if you know what I mean, like you're making content. You know, that's why I mostly post like gameplay and like this, you know, like I want to post more videos like this because it actually feels fun. You know, all I know is that I do want to keep enjoying, you know, doing what I do. And right now I enjoy doing videos like this. It was really fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're greatly appreciated, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.
Gather up all of the crew. It's time to ship our Binks' brew. Sea wind blows to where, who knows, the waves will be our guide. Or across the ocean's tide, rays of sunshine far and wide. Birds they sing of cheerful things in circles passing by. Bid farewell to Weaver's Town, say so long to Port Renown. Sing a song, it won't be long before we're casting off. Cross the gold and silver seas, a salty spray puts us at ease. Day and night to our delight. like the voyage never ends.